Hi everyone. In today's class, we are going to study about two special filter commands, that is sed and awk command. In the last video, we have already seen a set of filter commands. Okay, so what is a filter command? The commands which will receive the input and do some manipulations or process the data and show the output. Whatever filter command so far we have studied, we were using those commands to extract data from the file based on some conditions. We were not able to edit or modify the file content using those filter commands. So what is the difference between those filter commands and these two special filter commands? By using these special filter commands, we will be able to modify the content of the file. That means we can access the data and we can perform some operations, and we can modify the content of the data. Like that, we have two special filter commands, Z and awk. In today's class, we are going to study about Z command. Z stands for stream editor. That means it is a text editor that works on full streams of text in a file. We have a file and it contains some data. We want to process the entire text. Suppose like we want to search a pattern. If we find that pattern, we want to replace with another pattern. Otherwise, we want to extract specific records from the file. Okay, first of all, what is a file? File means it is a collection of records, like each line, and each record is a collection of fields. Okay, so if we want to extract a particular line or a record from the file, we can use. Okay, so in general, by using sed command, we can insert, delete, modify, append, and display the file contents. Okay, so that is the main purpose of sed command. It is a text editor that works on full streams of text, and we can modify the content of the file. Let's see the syntax of the sed command. So dollar indicates this is the command prompt, and here the name of the command, that is sed, following by the options. So options, it is mandatory here. Then we will be having instruction to the sed. That means what is the instruction we are giving to the sed command. Instruction contains two parts, that is address part and action part. What is address? Address means on which lines we want to do the action. That is representing by address part. It represents the line numbers on which line we have to do the actions. And the action means what? On these set of lines, what operation we have to perform is indicating by the part action. And this entire instruction, which contains address and action, should be within the single quote. It is optional. Then followed by the file name. We are processing which file content, that file name has to be the last one. Okay, so as I told you, address refers to the lines. That means on which line we have to do the operations, that is given by the address part. In three ways we can mention the lines, that is line addressing, range addressing, and context addressing. Line addressing means we are going to perform some operation on exactly a single line. So here in the address part, I'm exactly mentioning a single line, that is called line addressing. It is used to represent a single line of text. I want to perform an action on a particular single line, that is called line addressing. In that case, in the part of address, I will be giving the line number, a single line number. Then second one is range addressing. I want to do some operation on a set of lines. Suppose from line number 1 to line number 10, I want to do an action or an operation. So that is called, here we are mentioning the lines in a range 1 to 10. So that is called range addressing, used to represent more than one lines. If you are giving exactly one line, that is line addressing. If you are giving a set of numbers, a range of values, then it will become range addressing. Then another addressing is context addressing. Context addressing means on which all lines we want to perform the operation. it will be selecting based on the pattern. That means we have a pattern, which all lines are containing that pattern. On those lines, we want to do the operation or action. So that is called context addressing. So we will be selecting the lines to do the operations based on the pattern. Okay, so if a particular pattern is containing in the lines, only on those lines we want to do the action. And I told you action is nothing but the operation to be performed on the selected lines. So this is the syntax of the sed command. The name of the command followed by options and followed by instruction within the single quote. Instruction contains two parts, address and action. Address indicates on which are lines we have to perform the action. Action means what operation we have to be performed on the selected lines, and followed by the file name. Okay, then here in three ways we can mention the address of the lines here. It can be a single line, that is called a line addressing. It can be a range of lines, that is range addressing, or it can be a set of lines which contains a particular pattern, that is called context addressing. Then action is the operation what we are going to perform on the selected lines. This is the syntax of the sed command. I told you there is a action part in the syntax. What all actions we can perform along with the sed command? Basically, we have three actions: print, quit, and delete. So first we'll see print. That means I have selected a set of lines. I have mentioned a set of lines. What all operations we can perform? Usually we use print operation, quit operation, and delete operation. So print means what? It is used to select lines along with the actual contents. And what is the line we are selecting? That particular line will be displayed twice, which means we have a file, we want to print or display a particular line twice along with the normal content. For that, we are using the action P action. So you can look into the example here. We have the file1. I have displayed the content of the file1 using cat command. Okay, so this is the content of the file1. I want to print only the second line. Okay, so for that, the addressing I am using here is line addressing, because address is containing exactly one line number. So this is a line addressing followed by the action P. P means print. So if I give instruction as 2P, which contains address part as 2 and action part as P, which means print the second line. So by default, the nature of the P is it will display the second line twice, as well as it will display the normal content. So the normal content is 1, 2, 3, 4. In that, only the second line will repeat twice. This is the working of the print action. Whichever line we are mentioning along with the P action, those lines will be displayed twice, as well as it will display the other contents of the file. Next, we have quit option. Quit means extract, print, and quits only those selected lines. Okay, so I want to extract a set of lines. After that, I want to quit from the file. I don't want to display the remaining lines. So here you can look into the example. Z followed by the instruction 3Q. In this instruction, addresses containing 3, action is Q. So since I am mentioning only one line number, it is line addressing, and the action is quit, which means display the first 3 lines of the file1 and quit. Even though there are more lines after this in the file, it will not display those lines. It will display only the first 3 lines. After that, it will quit. So 3Q means display the first 3 lines of the file1 and quit. That is the quit action. Next one, delete action. Delete action is using to delete a particular line from the file. So if I am giving set space instruction as 3D, which means delete the third line from the file1. You can look into the content of the file1, first, second, third, fourth line. In that third line is BBACCC. Okay, so I want to delete this line. So how can we give that? Set space 3D space file1. So it will not give a third line in the output, only first, second and fourth line will be in the output. So we were talking about the what all actions we can perform along with the set command: print, quit and delete. Print will display the particular lines twice along with the other contents of the file. Quit means it will extract a set of lines and it will print, after that it will quit. Then delete means it is using to delete a particular line from the file. Now we are going to see what all options we can use along with the set command. When I taught you the syntax, we had option part, we have address part and we have action part. In that action part is done, we are seeing print, quit, delete are the actions commonly using along with the set command. Now we are going to see what are the options we can use with the set command. So the first option is -n. -n means what? I told you, if we are using the action P action, what will happen? Whatever line we want to print, it will print twice that particular line, as well as it will print the normal content of the file. In order to prevent this, we can use the option -n. So if I am mentioning 1P, that means print the first line. So if I give option N, it will only print the first line. It will not print the first line twice. It will not print the other content of the file 1. That is the use of -n. -n option allow us to print that particular line exactly once and it will not display the other contents of file 1. If you are not giving -and, if you are simply giving 1P, it will display the first line twice as well as the remaining content of the file 1. To prevent this, we are using -n. It will display exactly that particular mentioned line once and it will not display the remaining content of the file 1. Next one, I want to perform more than one actions. How is it possible? For that, we are using -e. It is used to combine two or more operations or actions. Okay, so here I have two instructions. First instruction is 1P, another instruction is 2P. In the first instruction, address part is 1, action part is P. In the second instruction, address part is 2, action part is P. So what are the actions I have to perform here? I have to perform two actions. The two actions are print the first line as well as print the second line. So I have two actions. How can we mention these two actions in the set command? For that, we can use the -e. So set space -e followed by one action, again -e followed by the second action, followed by the file name. So what will be the output? It will print the first line twice and it will print the second line twice, and as well as it will print the remaining content of the file. So if we are giving -n option, it will only display the first and second line. Since we are not using -n option, it will print first line twice, second line twice, as well as the other content of the file 1. So -e option is using to display, it is used to give more than one actions. Next one is -f option. Whatever actions we want to perform, all the actions we are writing into a file. Then when we are using the set command, the actions we are reading from the file. For that, we are using the option -f. You can see here, first I am constructing the file instr with the content 1p. So I have the instruction 1p. The instruction is stored in the file instr. What is the instruction? Print the first line, and I have stored in the instruction. And when I am executing sed command, I am reading the instruction, that is address and action, from the file using the option -f. So sed -n means what? -n means what? Exactly once only that particular line will display. And -f means what? Where is the address and action? Address and action is in the file instr. So read the action from the instr, that is 1p. 1p means what? Print the first line. Since we are using -n, it will exactly print only once. It will not display the other content. So whatever actions we want to perform, we can store all the actions in a file and we can read all the actions together from the file using the -f option. So we have seen what is sed command, what is the syntax, and what are the actions. Actions are print, quit, delete, and what are the options? -n, -e, and -f. Now we are moving on to the context addressing method. Context addressing, I told you, when we are specifying the lines, we will tell the lines which are containing a particular pattern. Only on those lines we want to perform the action or operation. That way of addressing is called context addressing. So context addressing is used to display the selected lines of files based on the given pattern, and whatever pattern we are searching, that pattern should be given within the two forward slashes. You can look into the example. I'm using the sed command to search a pattern BCA. If I find that pattern BCA, I want to print that line, and in which file I'm searching this? File 1. So sed command, and the file name is file 1, and the address is containing a pattern that is BCA within the two forward slashes. And what is the action? P. So it will search for the lines which is containing the pattern BCA. If it is containing, it will display that particular line twice, and it will display the remaining contents of the file also. Because if I'm not using -n, so by default nature of P, it will search the line which is containing the pattern BCA. If it is containing, it will display twice along with the normal content. So when I displayed the file 1 content, there was the first line only containing BCA pattern. So it will display that particular line twice along with the other content of the file 1. If we are using -n, it will not display twice. It will not display the other content. It will display only the line which is containing BCA pattern. So context addressing means we will specify the lines only which are containing a particular pattern. So when we are mentioning that pattern, it has to be within the two forward slashes. Okay, you can I have showed you one example. And here you can see what are the actions we can do along with the context addressing, which means if we find the lines which are containing a particular pattern, what all actions we can perform. Okay, what all actions we can perform. So here one is substitution. Substitution means what? I am searching for the lines which are containing a particular pattern. If I find the pattern, I want to replace that pattern with another pattern. So that is called substitution. So I can search the file for the occurrence of a pattern. If I find that pattern, I can replace that pattern with another pattern. For that, I am using the action substitution along with the context addressing. So that is S. So you can look in here in the example, sed followed by -n, it will display only that particular line. And what is the action here? Action is S. S means substitution, followed by what is the pattern I am searching here? BCA. So it has to be within the two forward slashes. And when I see the line which is containing BCA, that particular BCA has to be replaced with MCA. So again, MCA has to be within the slashes. Then if I find BCA, it has to be replaced, and only that line we had to print. Okay, what is the action we had to again do? Print. Substitute BCA with MCA and print only that line using the option -n. So in the file 1, when we saw the content, we saw the first line was containing one BCA AAA. So only that BCA will replaced by MCA, and only that particular line will be displayed as the output. Next action A. I can use A along with the context switching. It is used to append the new lines at the end of the file. That means already I am having a file. It has some content. I want to add some more data at the end of the file. For that, we are using the action A, which means appending. Then the next one is insert. Okay, that means I want to so when we saw this, we were okay. So in this particular, we were talking about the actions. S for substitution, A for appending new lines at the end of the file, and I for inserting new lines in the beginning of the file, and W for read some, that means take selected lines from the file and write it into another file. R action is for using to read the lines from the file, and that is for reading the selected lines from the file. Equal to operator means what all lines we have, display the line number and the lines in the output. What all lines we have, display the lines as well as the line number. You can see here sed space equal to operator followed by file1. So equal to means display the line numbers before the lines in the new line. So this will be the output for this. These are the lines and these are the line numbers. That's all today's video. Thank you for listening.